Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play SaGa 2 Goddess of Destiny. I am Dylan, I am your host, and today we're investigating the shipyard. So our young detective friend believes that her father was silenced because he had information about the traitor Echigoya. And so we're here at the shipyard looking for some clues regarding Echigoya's affairs. We have a new enemy here, the mosquito, which looks like the bee women we've seen in the past. Everything else here is nothing new though. Let's go ahead and put Zenith. Actually, Zenith's in a bit of an awkward position right now because all three of his non-counter attacks are getting kind of low in the numbers there. Let's go ahead and use the punch with him. I haven't used that one in quite a while. We'll put the punch on the mosquito there. Next we're going to go ahead and double up on the mosquito with her arquebus. And let's try out the leopard 2 with Zenith, or with Virtue rather. I mean, that's really unfortunate, man. You can't even see it on the robot. I imagine if I was using this on a non-robot character, we would be able to see something interesting using this tank-type weapon for the first time. But it looks like there's no unique appearance for this weapon at all when used by a mech. Well, we'll use it anyway, and we'll target the two phantoms since this is a group targeting weapon. And let's roll. Things start out as they usually do with the Aegis Shield from Elodie, which seems to take priority at the top of each round. That will, among other things, make my entire party immune to this sleep attack from that phantom, completely negating its turn. She's also able to block... Oh, there's the tank. I see it. Okay, when you're in the weapon select screen, you can't actually see the tank, but it looks like as soon as the round starts and it begins to take effect as a shield, you can see it in action there. And dang, look at that attack. It's so funny to me that the tank is even a weapon at all in this game. It's so strange. It was a lot less strange in the original, since individual weapons weren't really like animated. You never saw your own characters really during battles, so you didn't really know what they looked like when they were using the various weapons. You just kind of had to picture it in your head, and like you always kind of suspected that tank was like a translation error or just like some really flavorful language, and you know, maybe it's not really a tank that they're driving around, but no, it actually is a tank that you drive around in. And it's so bizarre that like Virtue apparently can just pull that thing out of his pocket and drive it around the battlefield, but I guess that's what we're meant to believe. I'm fine with it. In a world where magic exists, I'm perfectly fine suspending my disbelief if it means something as cool as a robot driving around a tank. Anyway, not using the tank right now, using the Aroundite instead. And finishing up the last couple of enemies here. Let's go ahead and, to conserve Zenith's taijutsu techniques, go ahead and use the cross counter for a while with him. Arquebus still has plenty of uses left, so we'll put that on the Wyvern along with the Aroundite. Oh, and here we have Polinia helping me once again. For all the fights I've been in, I've seen Polinia appear to assist me like 4 or 5 times now, but I've yet to get any assistance from any of the other muses, which is kind of interesting. It seemed that you could have multiple assisting you at the same time, and yet Polinia's the only one who's decided to do so. Anyway, yet another defense increase for Elodie. Absolutely fantastic. That Aegis Shield paying for itself. I love the fact that everything about that Aegis Shield, like it doesn't take up a slot in your inventory, it has infinite uses, and it lets you raise your defense after battle. Plus, Melmane's quite fond of it herself, so she rewards me with a little bit of MP for using it. Alright, what is this over here? Let's talk to this guy here. Looks like a turtle of some kind. This is terrible, this is terrible. Miss Otama went off to Echigoya's boat all by herself. She went ahead without us? I thought we were going to do this thing together, but I guess she had other ideas. Let's see, is there anything over here? I see an enemy on the end of that pier. Doesn't seem to be a treasure or anything though. And I did not see this enemy coming for me, but it's just one fiend, so let's move along. Zenith got a max HP and agility increase for that fight, and additionally Elodie now has Cold Wave, replacing her second iteration of Fog. Slightly more useful, but not so much considering that she already has both Poison Fog and Blizzard, and it's sort of the combination of the two. Also, I haven't really been using her magic during battle much at all since I've gotten the Aegis Shield, not to mention the Staff of Healing. Interestingly, the Esper's abilities kind of diminish in impact as the game goes along, and the very, very first leg of the game, before you start getting a lot of interesting weapons, the Espers are the only characters with group targeting attacks. Well, alright, I'm speaking here as someone who isn't using monsters, but having those like magic effects is really, really impactful in the early game, but they kind of become less impressive as time goes along, and even the Espers begin to rely on some items and relic powers rather than their own natural mutant abilities. Just some gazers and a mosquito here. Let's carry on. Okay, a max HP increase for Zenith, strength increase for Natsmer. I did use the Staff of Healing once during that fight, meaning that it only has 6 uses remaining, so if I remember, I might try to pick up another one of those before I depart this world, since I did notice that they were available at one of the stores. Though, was that Echigoya's store? Okay, so I see now that I have, what's the name of that map ability that I obtained not that long ago? The chest appraiser, yeah. So I have this chest appraiser that changes the appearance of chests on my minimap to indicate what's inside of them, and I can tell from looking at the minimap that I have a trapped chest up ahead. So for the first time ever, let's go ahead and try this disarm trap power. Let's go ahead and equip that map ability, then head over here to this apparently trapped chest and try it out. Okay, very cool. Trap disarmed, and inside we have a dragon shield. Really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and change my map ability back to excavate, since that's more universally useful. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and change it to stealth, since I could see myself using stealth here. Oh yeah, Natsmer is blind, so I'll use the Stardust Staff to heal that. I was fighting gazers, and I can make myself blind using the Aegis shield, but it was a surprise attack, so they actually got to attack first before Elodie had the chance to use that Aegis. Oh, and let's equip the dragon shield, speaking of shields. Give that to Virtue, since he's the only one with shield slots. I could replace his fire shield with that, which would increase his defense from 52 to 60. Alternatively, we could get up to 68 by replacing his mithril armor. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Give him the dragon shield 68 defense. That's pretty impressive. I don't think I've mentioned this previously, but I think that the statistics are out of 99. I think the minimum they can be is 0 and the maximum 99. So a defense of 68 is more than 2/3 of the maximum possible defense in the game. So getting really high up there. And so I'm what, like 11 hours into this game or something like that. So that sounds about right. And I'm still enjoying this game quite a lot despite all that time. But this soundtrack is really getting old. I feel like a game of this length could have used a couple of additional dungeon and town musics compared to what it has. And yeah, it's excusable because it's a portable game, so a lot of people are going to be playing it without the sound on. But as someone who is playing it with the sound on, it's getting a little bit old. It's not as bad as it was in Dragon Quest VII, because that was like a 100-hour long game that had basically a 10-hour game's worth of music. And that's a lot worse than this, which is like a, 15-hour game with like a 5-hour game's worth of music. Anyway, I just got a new item, the beam rifle here, which is a gun that fires particle beams, which can break through defenses. So this is a gun-type weapon that deals magical rather than physical damage. So it's based on like a magic defense rather than a physical defense, which makes it extremely useful against bosses in particular. Do I actually have something I want to replace with that? Let's actually replace the high potion with that. I don't want to replace any of her other weapons because I quite like all 3 of those, and also because I want to conserve this beam rifle for the times when it's actually necessary. I think the final boss in particular is a case in which weapons like these become extra useful. So I don't want to use it up too quickly, and I want to keep these other weapons around, so we'll just replace the high potion. I usually forget that I have that high potion anyway. While I'm in here, let's top off Virtue's HP. Oh man, that healing is not going as long as it used to. Alright, so where do I go next? Can I go deeper in the ship? Looks like I might have to fight something to make it. No, alright, I made it through. Let's see, those are stairs going up, so I guess I'm headed this way. Yeah, so not a very long dungeon here from what I remember. We're already in the lower hold. I see another gold chest over there, so I'm going to be heading in that direction. First, I might have to fight this ghost. Yeah, I'll turn around and face him, try to cut off his chance of getting a surprise attack. We have a new enemy. We have an Orochi, 2 of them, in fact, as well as a fairy. Fairy we've seen before. The snake enemy here, though, something new. Alright, so let's, this is what the beam rifle looks like. Man, that is a dramatic-looking weapon. The look of the weapons in these games are, for the most part, really, really exciting. Alright, but not what we're going to be using this round. We're going to stick to the much less exciting Arquebus. And let's target all of our attacks on the Orochi here, except for Zenith, since I'm using counterattacks with him to conserve his other attacks. We got the Aegis off first thing first, so that means that my characters are immune to these status-afflicting attacks. Look like everyone is going for a status attack the first round. One of the Orochi's attacks did additionally deal damage, so that was able to get through. But the Aegis shield pretty much single-handedly negated everything that my opponents were trying to do with their round. Really, really helpful, meaning coming from something that only took a single one of my 4 characters a single turn to do. Oh man, even negating that blizzard attack entirely. Well, though I guess that's not the all necessarily, that could just be his dragon armor doing the job for him. Yeah, this Aegis relic really making some of these encounters pretty trivial. But that won't be the case forever. Enemies will be getting more powerful as we go along, but for now I'm enjoying this respite from the sometimes, I don't know, deadly encounters I've had in the past. Let's see, Poison Fang there seems to be the most effective thing they can do, but even still only deals about 50 damage. Oh, actually that was a lot more, 96. It seems that the damage range on some of these attacks is pretty high. Down to just the fairy. One shot from the Arquebus, not enough, but I should be able to finish things up this round. I've already used plenty of Aegis Shield, so in case Elodie does get a turn, I'll have her use Blizzard on it. Maybe increase her spirit stat in addition to defense this encounter. I would hope she gets a defense increase as much as she's been using shields, but it doesn't seem to happen every time, and not this time. We do, however, get a strength bonus for Natsmer and about 700 Kiro, and Melmane very, very consistently happy with me. The game does not expect you to be using shields as much as I have been lately. Ooh, and we get another leopard too, fantastic. I'm not going to equip that just yet, something I'm going to save for later, but I'm really happy to see it. And over here we have Kong Ming's shoes. Alright, I wonder what those are. Probably shoes of some kind, but what do they do compared to, say, the Hermes sandals? Let's see, the Hermes sandals are increasing agility and defense. The Kong Ming's shoes will increase defense and spirit. Okay, and they appear to increase spirit by a ton, pretty much offsetting the spirit I lost by removing the lightning crystal relic. So yeah, I think using Kong Ming's shoes on Elodie is a good idea. The hit to her agility is unfortunate, particularly on turns in which she's going to be healing people, but I think I can suffer it for now. Let's see, Air Bash on Zenith is fine. Natsmer currently barefoot here? Oh no, she has the Iron Geta. Let's replace the Iron Geta with the Hermes Sandals. That'll be a huge increase. Her strength will drop from 30 to 25, but much more importantly, an increase of 10 to her agility and 2 to her defense. So I'm quite happy to do that. And let's see, I don't suppose that Virtue has any use for those Iron Geta, does he? Nope, they're worse than his Fire Shield, so no need to make that switch there. Okay, and we have an exclamation mark at the map. It seems that we've come to the end of this ship here. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh yes, our detective friend was going ahead of us. Is everything cool? Oh, Sir Ronin. The teacher from that elementary school we saw over in Otama's town is here as well. He came to rescue her when she was attacked by Echigoya's bodyguards. Thank you, Sir Ronin. Nah, it was nothing. This boat is full of black market goods. Now I can arrest Echigoya. It's funny that they're vague on the exact contents of the ship, just referring to them as black market goods, because in the original SaGa 2, that is to say, this ship was filled with opium. But in Final Fantasy Legend 2, the English translation, apparently the drug trade was not an appropriate topic for an all-ages game, so it was filled with bananas. There were NPCs whose dialogue set up the fact that bananas were for some reason outlawed in this kingdom, which like foreshadowed you eventually finding this ship full of bananas. And so it would have been, I don't know, it's just really bizarre. Like it kind of portrays the government of this place is like completely mad, that they're just like banning completely harmless foods for arbitrary reasons. But then it just makes the smugglers out to be like some sort of like rebellion, like they're fighting against the insane banana-hating system. So it doesn't really portray Echigoya as a bad guy necessarily for smuggling bananas, because there's nothing wrong with bananas. So it kind of changes the meaning of events. Oh, we have an exclamation mark on the map over here, so I guess this is the direction I should be going. I was going to go confront Echigoya, but I guess that's not what I meant to do right now. I do have Miss Otama with me, so let's go ahead and check out her inventory here. She has the juta, which she said she was going to carry with her until she avenged her father. She's also got some throwing coins, a kimono, and a sidelong glance. I guess this is the purpose of the kimono item. I was kind of pontificating on that earlier. Like, it didn't seem like there was much use for this item, but I guess they wanted it in the game because Otama should wear one. But no matter, probably just going to be using the juta from her. For the most part, her strength score is high enough that I think that'll be more powerful than her throwing coins weapon. Actually, something I don't do often enough is when I have guests, you can press the start button on the menu to talk to them. With this, Echigoya will be arrested. Let's go to Bugyo's court at once. Okay, so we found our evidence of his opium trade, so we're going to go present that directly to the people in charge. So let's go ahead and heal. Actually, as long as I'm out on the field, I guess I should head over to Castletown, use the inn there, and then I'll be back to present this evidence in court. So my fears about not knowing what to do next in this world have been mostly overcome by the exclamations on the minimap. Those informing you as to where the next event is has been extremely useful in figuring out what to do while I'm here. Anyway, we're here with Otama talking to the Bugyo to inform him that Echigoya's boat is full of black market goods. Just a vague black market goods, not opium or bananas necessarily. You did it, Otama! Seems that the magistrate was rooting for her to find that evidence, but his hands were tied without it, so we're going to go and bring Echigoya here, or we're not rather, but those samurai are, or whoever they are. I don't know if they're samurai. At last, your father is avenged. I'm sure she'll be happy to hear that. Yeah, she is. Okay, and what will happen next? Oh, it's the turtle guy. We met this turtle guy in her town. We didn't really learn that much about him, though. Miss Otama, you did it. Ah, Denpachi, I burdened you with troubles. Yeah, Denpachi's name is changed from Final Fantasy Legend 2. I don't remember 2 also. I meant 2 for both forms of 2 there. Yeah, all the characters' names were different, actually. Hana instead of Otama. I don't remember what Ronin's name was originally. It's kind of strange that his name is just Ronin in this. Echigoya was the same, though, I think. Also, the characters back in Venus's town, they, Olivia, Antony, and Julius, they all had different names, too. I think it was mainly, like, a length concern. Like, their names were shortened because less text was displayed on screen at a time in the Game Boy version. Obviously, Japanese text can store longer amounts of text in like smaller areas because each character represents like a syllable as opposed to just a sound. Apparently, the black market goods were not found on his ship, and that certainly makes us look pretty foolish here. Echigoya, you hid it somewhere. I mean, you can't really blame him if he's doing illicit things that he would try to cover it up. How irresponsible of you to make false accusations. Echigoya, I apologize. No, it's because of the young miss. Perhaps the young miss is unfit for private detective work. I love this guy. Look at the way he walks around, just flailing his arms in the air. He doesn't give a crap. How in the world? Yeah, something fishy's still going on here. But I suspect that we're going to get to the bottom of it before long. Denpachi seems worried about her. But he'll pitch in and help. Awesome, okay. Glad to have Turtle Guy on the side. On our side, that is. What could have happened? Perhaps the Bugyo and the police are accomplices. Apparently, corruption is afoot. The suspicions are endless. Alright, we have Denpachi and Ronin here. What's going on? So Ronin, what is it? Miss Otama, I snuck into Echigoya's to look for clues, but I got caught. Such a foolish thing to do. What is that? The posse? that's the term that the translation went with. The posse, not like the militia or something like that. Otama, a burglar got caught in Echigoya's. He managed to escape to this vicinity. Oh, they're looking for Denpachi, but we're not going to let him go, are we? Where's Denpachi? He was given his Kira from last week's pay, so perhaps he went to visit Yoshiwara? Is that so? I see. Some high-ranking officials are involved with this commotion, so it's out of our hands. You should give it up. I'm not convinced. His wounds are minor. So Denpachi, did you find anything? I'm sorry, Miss Otama, I couldn't find anything. Is that so? So if his ship is clean and his shop is clean, then what are we going to do about Echigoya? Alright, well, we're gonna march right over there, it seems. We're not going to accomplish anything sitting around here. Agreed. We'll do everything we can to put the screws to Echigoya. Put the screws. I've never heard that expression before. Alright, they're tough, so be careful. I'm sure it's nothing that some outsiders from another world with the power of the gods on their side can't handle. But we're going to have to match that confrontation next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you then.